Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Poet Skinny here with my review of Revolution Season 1, Episode 8, titled Ties That Bind. I've mentioned before, Revolution is like my guilty pleasure because there are so many things in the show that don't work or just are bad, but I keep watching. And pretty much like everybody else, Charlie gets on my nerves, and she's hard to deal with, but I keep watching. Though in this episode, I have to say, this was probably one of my favorite episodes Charlie-wise, because she didn't say too much, and she didn't annoy me. Excuse me. Sorry if I'm burping, I'm drinking a 16-ounce Busch Light. She didn't annoy me this episode. They kept her lines minimal, and she really wasn't in it, so that helped. So if you haven't watched it, watch it just for that. But kind of a brief overview. The very first scene, they're trying to get across this bridge so they can get into Philadelphia. The closest bridge is 100 miles away after this one, so they got to cross this bridge. Nora bribes an official, so they can get across. So there's this official she's bribing. There's all these guards, right, at the front of the gate. They bribe the official. They pass through all these guards, and they start to walk across the bridge. When Miles realizes it's a trap, he says, when I say go, turn around, run back the other way. So there's guards by the gate here. There's some people that are trying to trap them here. They're in the middle. They turn around to run away when he says go, and suddenly all the guards here disappear. It's just the people back here chasing them. They just turn around and run. Like, this is what I'm saying about the show. Things just don't work properly in the show. Like, they turn around, run past guards they were just by, and none of them do anything. They're just not there all of a sudden. So anyway, they get away from those guards. They're off in the city hiding. Everybody's looking for them. Then Sergeant Strausser, the mean guy who's looking for him, everybody starts calling Nora's name. Basically, Sergeant Strausser has Nora's sister strung up, and he said he's going to kill her in 1 hour if she doesn't give up the pendant and doesn't give up Miles. So, of course, they decide not to give up either one. They're going to get her sister back. So they set dynamite all over the place, blow up all these buildings, and all the guards that are around her sister, of course, as people always doing explosions, run towards the explosion, and they just walk up and get her sister. Once again, those are the things that irk me about this show. Make it semi-believable. Leave one guy around their sister that they have to battle something. No, they just 3-4 explosions with dynamite that they got from who knows where, and suddenly there's no one around her sister. Anyway, so they get away from there. Her sister says she knows a guy that could ferry them across the bridge. They get there, and the guy's dead. Sergeant Strausser's men have already been there. They killed the guy by the ferry. So then Nora's sister, she says she doesn't want to go with them to the other bridge. She's like, well, Dad's still alive, Nora. And that's when I said, I don't trust this bitch. I said, I don't trust her. She was like, I said, I don't trust her. She said, Dad's still alive, you need to come with me. Charlie, like one of our only lines, she came over and was like, go with her. Nora was like, no, I made you a promise. She's like, no, go with her, it's your family. I was like, don't do it, Nora. Something's wrong here. Turns out Nora's sister was working with Strausser. In order for Nora to go, she stole the pendant from Aaron. She just pickpocketed him. He didn't even know. They make Aaron seem like such a total idiot in this show. Anyway, she pickpocketed him, so she gave Strausser the pendant, and he left and said her and Nora could go free. So that's where that part of the storyline was going. But then on the other side of the storyline, Captain Neville's son, Nate, he got caught trying to figure out where Strausser was going. I guess he wanted to try to save Charlie or something. So he got caught. They were beating him up in prison, and they said they were going to ship him to California. Either execute him or ship him to California. So, Captain Neville, was all pissed off, kind of angry. And Captain Neville's wife, who I like now, She found out that one of the other colonels, who actually was a colonel who wanted to ship her son to California, she found out that his son was part of the resistance. She told her husband, Major Neville, Major Neville told Monroe, and that guy, his son and all the resistance people got killed, and, they had that colonel, they were in jail beating him up, and Monroe was like, since you told me that, I'm going to let your son stay, but keep him in line, Neville. So Neville said all right, he would. Then at the end of the episode, we come to find out that basically Major Neville's wife is kind of shady, and she wants Neville to basically get rid of Monroe, and he could lead the whole Republic. So we see her kind of angle, but that whole storyline I liked. That was a really cool storyline. But so back to the main one. Oh, also there's another storyline. This week's flashback was Nora and her sister, but it was crappy. I didn't like it, so whatever. You can watch that on your own. So Nora says she's going to go and warn Charlie and them that, Strasser was working with his sister and knows where they're at. So basically, long story short, she goes and helps them get away, and, they all get away. And it's all, peaches and cream. But, Miles and Aaron have a little moment, because Miles is like, you should have given me the pendant, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that's, once again, the four of them are back walking through the woods. No matter what happens, at the end, the four of them are back walking through the woods. Every episode. But the final piece, Grace and Grace is locked up. That guy Randall comes in there. He's like, I gotta show you something. It's not a trick. I need to show you something. He has this big ass computer board going, and he was like, he's tracking all the pendants, I guess. And he was like, the pendant that Ben has was here, and then suddenly it's in Philadelphia. It's like, well, that must mean Monroe has it. And she was like, what are you going to do about it? He's like, I'm not going to do anything. It's what you're going to do about it. And they pan out, and there's this big, crazy, weird room with, looks like maybe like a teleportation or some kind of time machine thing going on. And that's where it ended. So I'm guessing, he's got power, and he's got some kind of way to, get Grace there and get the pendant. I don't know. It was I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. I just hope they don't go too crazy with it. And part of me liked the simple, no one has power except the pendants thing. I'm not liking now that some people have power, or lots of other stuff going. I'm just not liking that. It was simple before, now it's all complicated. Oh, and see, I leave stuff out, I forget. When Strasser took the pendant from Nora's sister, he gave it to Monroe, and then Monroe gave it to Elizabeth, Danny and Charlie's mother. So he has his, and I guess she's going to get it working somehow. And then this other guy has, I guess, Grace's, and he's got all this power. So there's two of the pendants. People have power. It's getting crazy. I'm thinking the lights are going to come back on soon. They better. No, they probably won't. They'll drag it out. But that's what happened in this episode. Like I said, there was still the same old... the plot is cool, but just the little everyday stuff they do doesn't make any sense. I wish they would give Miles and Charlie and Nora and Aaron a real mission to go on, and not these little kiddie missions that don't make any sense. Give us a whole episode of flashbacks and get us all, it's just that isn't working, but it keeps me watching. So I give this episode about a 3 out of 5, a 3.5 out of 5, because it was entertaining. And so that's my review this week. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that. Leave your comments on what you think about the show too. I enjoy reading those. And I will talk to you next week when the next episode of Revolution comes out. Alright, Put Skinny out.